Hey, it's JR with 1047 WNOK here with Jared, the Subway guy. Remember him? Of course they remember you, right?
Of course.
How long has it been?
Been doing the ads for Subway now for 13 years.
Wow. And in case anyone forgot, tell us your story.
Well, yeah, I was back in 1998 when I weighed 425 pounds and, years of poor decision making. I needed to make some major lifestyle changes. I was a college student at that point at Indiana University and lived next door to a Subway restaurant of all things, and literally 10 steps from my front door to the front door of the Subway.
Wow.
And walked in one day and picked up a nutritional guide and added up the fat grams and the calories, and it just sort of made sense that if I stuck to 2 of the low-fat Subway sandwiches on the low-fat menu a day, that maybe that might be a way to lose some weight. And I did the baked chips and diet sodas with it, and it just started clicking. And within the first 3 months, I lost 94 pounds. And after a year of doing the Subway sandwiches plus walking every day for about a half hour, was able to drop about 245 pounds total.
So then, of course, I was when you saw all that the progress happen, then you got on the momentum and
yeah, I just kept building on it, And I said I had no idea how much I could lose. I just thought I just wanted to change myself. I wanted to lose some weight. I had no idea it was going to come off that fast. I had no idea. What was going to really happen, because I never lost weight before. But, I just stuck with it, and there were some tough times, and there were some times that I plateaued. I just hung in there with it, and, kicked in a little bit more walking, a little faster pace, doing those kinds of things, and was able to lose that weight, but obviously never thought it would ever turn into this. I was never expecting to be known as the Subway guy, that's for sure.
Yeah, you know what, and how many people have you met since in the 13 years that you have kind of inspired them to do this?
It's been neat, and we've gotten hundreds, actually thousands of emails and letters over the years, just by kids and adults who said they heard about what I did, they wanted to change themselves as well, and whether it's been just a few pounds or a lot of pounds, we've gotten letters from people who have lost over 200 pounds themselves. I mean, it's pretty neat, and then the fact is that I always say, it's great. It's great that the story inspired you to do it, but you're still the one who had to want to change. You're still the one who had to make those decisions, but you never know.
You had to follow through with it.
Exactly. You never know what's going to make someone, give them that spark to want to change, and it's a neat thing to be on that side of things.
So being 425 pounds, from 425 to where you are now, what's the one thing that you would have been surprised by doing? Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I did this, or I can't believe I did that.
There were so many things, and I think that's one of the things that my life had become so restricted at that point. I couldn't move. I couldn't. You just lived such a captive life. I was captive, held hostage by my weight, literally. And, things like going to when I went to Indiana University. I couldn't go to the IU basketball games. Just wasn't going to happen because I couldn't. Literally, I couldn't walk up the stairs. I couldn't fit in the seats. I couldn't go on an airplane anymore. Couldn't go to a movie theater. Couldn't fit in the backseat of a car. I mean, all these little things that people take for granted on a daily basis. I couldn't do those things, and I think that's overall the biggest thing is just living your life so much more carefree, where you don't have to worry about pre-planning every single moment, and just being able to live a normal life. I think that's such a big part of it.
Yeah, and I think there was some talk about you being here a year ago, and then you were training for a marathon.
Yeah,
so could you imagine being 425 pounds, just even thinking about walking a half a mile to running like 26 miles?
There's no way. And in fact, I said last year was a big bucket list item for me. I said I was able to train really hard and somehow completed the New York City Marathon. I still don't know how I got through it because it was grueling. It was, looking back, I think it was almost harder to do the marathon than it was to lose the 245 pounds. That's what it took out of me to do it. But I did it. It proved a lot to myself, and it can never be taken away now, which is great. But you'll probably never see me do another one.
So what's next on your bucket list?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Just obviously keeping the weight off is obviously always an important part of it, and realizing you're going to have some ups and downs with that, like anything else too. But just hang in there with it, I think. And my goal is to just to live a healthy life and whatnot. And I don't really necessarily know if I have any specific things. I have a book that I did a few years ago, and I'd love to do a kids book about talking about childhood obesity and really relating to the kids and involving my big pair of pants that I used to wear, of course. So that might be something down the road I do.
And of course, you speak of child books. You just recently had a son.
Yeah, a little baby. Well, he's not even a month old yet. So Brady is his name. So we're real excited about that. And obviously now that I'm being a dad now, you just realize. I go to schools all the time. I speak to kids.
Right.
Now to have my own child, I want to make sure we get him on the right path too. Obviously, so he can learn from dad's mistakes and not never weigh as much as I weighed, and hopefully I think educating him from day one and just keeping him making sure we, you want him to be a normal kid. Obviously, you want him to do these.
Right.
So you got to find that middle ground somewhere. But keeping him active and limiting the screen time is important. So.
Yeah. So what's the favorite sandwich at Subway?
My favorite nowadays would be the delicious sweet onion chicken teriyaki, and it is. I get it toasted, and we're coming into the winter time.
Right. Totally.
Always a good thing to get, but. As I said, one of the great perks about my job is I haven't actually had to pay for Subway in about 13 years. And I hope I have
That is pretty sweet.
I'm hoping for many, many more years. Sort of like Happy Gilmore, if you remember in that movie Happy Gilmore, he did the Subway commercials and got a lifetime pass or something. I don't have that yet, but I'm aspiring to get that.
You know what? You'll have to work on that. And
right.
your agent needs to work on that
seriously,
for you.
I need to put him to work.
So we speak of lunch and dinner sandwiches. What about breakfast?
Well, breakfast, they have a brand new, not brand new, but it's been out for a couple of years now. The great breakfast sandwiches at Subway. They're part of the Fresh Fit menu. You can choose the egg patty, the egg white patty, or the regular patty. And you can get on the flatbread or the English muffin, and you can get them customized just the way you want them. So if you want to keep it low fat and healthy, you can do that. And if you want to add some of the other sauces and whatnot, you can do that as well.
How do you customize your breakfast sandwich?
I do flatbread, egg white, piece of cheese, piece of ham, a lot of peppers, and a little bit of salt and pepper. I don't even need any sauce on it. I think it tastes that good on its own. They put it in the toaster oven. Comes out ooey gooey.
I know what I'm doing for breakfast tomorrow.
That's right.
Thank you, Jared from Subway.
Woohoo!